Hello. This is going to be a mostly unedited and unscripted insight on the Final Fantasy XIV House Lottery fiasco from a QA and game dev perspective. I do not work for Square Enix or any related projects, so I am using my experience to give my opinion on this issue and how they're handling it. The TLDR for this issue is in Final Fantasy XIV, houses in a new area went up for sale. People would join a lottery for a plot of land, and sometimes the winning number that was rolled was zero, and there were no winners, even if there was only one person who would join that lottery. So I have the three initial posts, and to go over each of these posts is the first post is letting people know there was a problem, you know, problem acknowledgement. The second post is an apology message because they had to do some damage control. Player relations is really important in games that require players to continue to play, so it keeps making them money. The third post is the assurance message saying, we know the problem. Correction. It's the assurance message saying that we know there's a problem and we're going to fix it. So if you were to go to the third post, there will be a follow-up link that actually talks about the problem. That problem is what we're most interested in as QA. So I went through that post and just snipped out the information that we're interested in. The image on the left, current housing lottery situation, is just an explanation of the bug. So the lottery was conducted successfully, the correct results were displayed, and plots could be purchased. That is the win scenario, or everything's functioning. Second one, the lottery was conducted successfully, but the winning number was not communicated to the housing server. That is the failure. That is the bug. So my guess is that each server, each world has a server that it talks to for the houses that designates each houses. But you know, I don't know how their server setup is created, so this I'm just guessing. And between those two servers, when a number was drawn, it didn't talk to the server, and it could be something as simple as Windows needs updating. That message popping up on the server can lock up the server and cause things like clocks to desync. Now, running multiple servers, it is very important for clocks to be synced up. But once again, I don't know. Maybe the server crashed. But to test this would have been extremely difficult because if they have their own private servers that they test on, which I assume they probably do, you know, they can monitor everything. It's all synced up. They're not running different servers, like physical servers, I mean. So in all their test cases, it came up, you know, all good to go. But when you actually push it out to live, you're going across countries, over the ocean, around around a mountain, things like that. Oh yeah, also the use case, or the test cases from at most on the QA side, you would get maybe 100 tests for this specific system. Push it to live, you probably get 100 people checking it like every second. So there's this huge, I forgot what you call it, but pretty much, it's easier to find bugs if you have, 100,000 people checking it, the same thing. Now, my best guess of what actually occurred for this bug was that because it was hammered on by so many people, it caused unintentional lag to the actual housing servers that did the communicating. And probably some of them got knocked offline. Essentially, we DDoSed them unintentionally. Now, as far as this post goes in the entirety, it, they actually do an incredible job of letting you know their step by step. So reproducing the issue. For every bug that you encounter, you always want to reproduce it. If you can't reproduce a bug, how do you know if you fixed it? Fixing identified errors. So that's basically, hey, we found the bug, now we're going to fix it. The third thing they're saying is verifying fixes. You have to regress the bugs. So by them actually verifying the fix, hopefully they'll push it to maybe their live servers, something closed off, maybe a small set of plots would be open for purchase, and then restore the lottery data. This is actually what impresses me about Square Enix's customer service. To do this, they'd have to scrub through a crap ton of code to figure out which which lottery number, because if you read before is the lottery was conducted successfully, but the winning number was not communicated to the housing server. So they did find a winner for each of those houses, but they have to figure out whose number belongs to which player or which plot of land. And they had to scrub through all that. I can't imagine it'd be fun just even looking at it. Definitely a lot of control Fs. So that is like their due diligence. Like in most cases, the easiest solution would just be, if you didn't win, we're just going to redo the lottery for those. Or actually, the easiest solution is just to roll back, and that pisses a lot of people off. The easier solution is to do what I said before, is just to redo the lotteries for those that didn't win. The difficult and best solution that they did was restoring the lottery data. So, what I think Square did here was an amazing amount of damage control. Like, I don't think you'd see this from any other company. And if you've watched Zepla's video, she also did a very good job of talking about this issue from a typical player's perspective and expressing her confusion on some of the things that they talked about. Such as when she was talking about the lottery conducted successfully, but the housing server wasn't communicating. She said, but that wasn't successful. Yeah, that was pretty good if you didn't understand how this housing server system worked. Now, I will include a link to her video and this post on the lodestone in the description down below. So this is the end of my talking piece. Things I edited out for were a lot of uhs and dead space. This was surprisingly hard to do.